Hey, so I've been speculating about video game values for a long time. Ever since I first got into this hobby, it was a big part of making collecting more affordable when you're literally on a lawn mowing budget. When I was a young teen, it was working over at Mr. Mossman's house, doing all kinds of yard work for him, making, I believe it was $5 an hour. Some bullshit, man. Like looking back, yeah, granted, with the value of the US dollar, spending power of it back then, accounting for inflation, essentially, probably like $10 an hour. But shit, man, kind of yard work I had to do, $10 an hour. I'd be happy to pay somebody $10 an hour to do that kind of labor. So, anyways, cheap. I had to be cheap. So, always had to, obviously not pay above what something goes for on eBay. Be cheap about it. But then I'd always look at eBay like, I can always sell this piece to get more money so I can continue being a cheap ass. You know? Go garage sailing and actually have a budget. Find more of these deals. Very quick, slippery, super slippery slope. Where before you know it, you're skiing 100 miles an hour. You're a fucking reseller, and that's 99% of collectors. Y'all are fucking resellers, and you know it. You know it. You fucking know it. You'll sell something if it gets overly retarded hot. Say Beyond Good and Evil 2 gets announced, and all of a sudden fucking PS2 copies of Beyond Good and Evil are hitting $100. You're not gonna be a fucking idiot. You're gonna sell it. Cash out real quick. Just knowing what's gonna happen because you're a seasoned, smart collector. You fucking know. You'll be like, yeah, fucking good riddance. I don't even care. The first game comes with the second game upon release, or some fucking DLC, or I don't know. Or you'll just acquire it 2 months later for $25. It'll take a 30% permanent price adjustment boost. It'll never come back down from there, but you'll sell it while it's up 500%, you know? Duh. That's called being smart. So that's how all of us became resellers. And yeah, you're a fucking reseller if you've ever gotten out of collecting. You know, maybe you collect right now and you think like, yeah, I remember I had this baller ass Saturn collection, sold it all in 2008. Yeah, we fucking all did. We all did that. It wasn't fathomable that this stuff would get to where it's at now. So when it's plateaued for so long, it was this gentle incline of value with that Saturn stuff, you know. You might have had Magic Knight Rare for 4 years in your collection, and when you first bought it, it was $40, and now it's $75. So you're like, shit, man. Had no intention of, didn't need the money, wasn't in it to resell, but man, my games have doubled in value. Feels good to sell it. So selling games has always felt good over the years. What doesn't feel good is looking back. You know? Looking back to all the Kios flying squadrons and shit. Those always stood out. Those are always top tier. It's just what was top tier was literally 1/10 of the values of the same fucking top tiers today. They're the same title, same fucking elite tier. Very few games will just surprise appear and take thrones, you know, where they're not in the top 3, not in the top 10, depending on the size of the library, you know. And all of a sudden, like, they come from nowhere, this underdog story. I'm Samson, you know. Samson's one of them. Samson's a kind of a cool story. That one rising to power. Hagane. It's cool when that shit happens, but, man, it was possible for that stuff to happen before YouTube and before all the data, the information age. It's possible for some to be little hidden nuggets slipping through the cracks, but that's not possible anymore. YouTube content of every fucking game ever made It's all been combed through. Everything that's a fantastic hidden gem has been talked about. However, I'm going to get to a point here, by the way, but that's why I preach on like titles like Henry Hatsworth on DS. That one hasn't really been talked about. It's just, it's out there to be known. So there's other people like me that go, fuck, man, that's an amazing game. Pretty hard to find. I'll snag me a few copies. So it's, you know what I'm saying though. It's not like Samson Rare meets Samson Quality. That was just a cool one for anybody that was ahead of the game on that. Be picking up Samsons for 40 bucks. Fuck, I want to cross this road. What I want to talk about here, I should be running, but I'm going to take this way. I'm going to take this route. I'm so out of shape, I just want to get the distance in and be lazy about the time. So, it's like almost 5 a.m. Nice time to just be chill walking and talking. I want to think of some titles that have guaranteed upside. Just guaranteed, just so fucking likely to sustain or go up in value. Because like what I like to have fun with my money is buying stuff that's more of a gamble, more of your oddball stuff. I'll just throw out a few fucking random titles that I've hoarded a little stash of. King of Route 66 on PS2. Okay, Target Terror on Wii. All right, fucking Opuna on Wii. You seeing the correlation here? There is none. Africa on PS3. Yeah, that's a good one. It's actually pretty smart to stash some of those aside. Fucking Knight's Contract on PS3. What the fuck? 3D Dot Heroes. Alright, that's a little cliche. Folklore PS3. Yeah, it's still kind of cliche. Shanghai Mini on Neo Geo Pocket Color. That's fucking rare. That's weird. Anyways, what I haven't mentioned is fucking Fire Emblem. I know. One that, in hindsight, again, it's always in the moment. It's speculating is, I guess, it's inherently fucking gamble. It's uncertain. It doesn't. What is obvious common sense in hindsight, if you were to actually remember, if you could recall your speculative vision that you had back then that you're now thinking about in hindsight. Like in hindsight, 2008, why wasn't I GameCube hungry? Why wasn't I feasting on GameCube? Even Nintendo first party GameCube, why wasn't I just feasting on it? Why couldn't I see this supply-demand future imbalance? And it's like, man, because you go on eBay and it's like, there's plenty of Fire Emblems to buy for 40 a piece. You know, go on eBay and Pikmin 2. That one actually was always kind of pricey. That was, for a while, I think it was pricier than Fire Emblem. Chibi Robo. You know, it's like, it was hard to fathom it becoming what it's become today. But I feel the more time goes on, the more trends you start to see, the more patterns you start to see. So with that knowledge now, like speculating becomes the reward for a successful speculation isn't nearly as dynamic as it was in the past. If you called that right shot with Samson Hagane, you had a killer multiplier of margin to be excited about in a relatively short amount of time too. Those were flying upwards, and to anybody that stashed aside 10 copies of Hagane, that must have been a thrill from the year 2014 to 2018. It's gonna be less dynamic, but I think you can be more certain about certain things. More certain that these trends are going to continue, these patterns will continue. Let me jump right into it. On the tip of my head, I got Nintendo Wii. Nintendo Wii.